So you shared with me before we started recording the episode that essentially you have three different programs, right? So share with the audience what those programs are and how they support franchisees at different levels.
Right. So I'm one of those rare service providers in the franchise industry that we are 100% focused on franchisee success. We're franchisee advocates, but franchisor supporters, because without the franchisors, franchisees would not have the opportunity of their American dream of business ownership, because you need to have very unique, special, diverse skills to be a successful creator of a brand. And so the fact that franchisors have done through that is amazing. And so the problem is that many franchisees do not come with the business acumen that they need to turn that revenue that comes from the proven brand into profit. And so what we have is we created three programs. The first one we started, it was the first one we started 8 years ago, which is supporting franchisees, not just on turning a business profitable, but growing into a multi-unit enterprise. So it's literally a year-long program where we will give them the business acumen to manage the business and scale it with success and confidence. All the systems and processes to hire and retain and inspire great people. All of the systems and processes to control your controllable cost and maximize your profitability. All the systems to increase revenue year over year. We teach our franchisees that they need to own their sales. The brand will only bring so much revenue, but what you do in your community will then determine whether you're going to be able to increase that revenue year over year. And you need to have the skills and the tactics and the strategy to do that. And then we also teach them all the systems to how to scale, because managing one unit is not the same as having multi-unit organization. The moment that you go to two stores, it's already, a different business, a different model. And so we teach them all of that, the systems, processes, procedures, policies, and help them document it into a management manual to give to the managers and train the managers so that they can, every time they open a unit, you give them the ops manual for the brand and the management manual for the managers. And then you go to the next unit, ops manual for the brand, management manual for the manuals. Ops brings you revenue, management brings you the profit. And now you can scale, with success. So that's what we do for franchisees. And it's a year-long program. It's a mastermind too, by the way. So 3 times a month, we get together with all of our franchisees and have amazing discussions above and beyond everything else that we do. But then the second program came about by our customers' request. Our clients were going multi-unit, they were expanding, and they were hiring the district managers as we guide them to. And they said, okay, Aicha, what does the district manager do? What is their job? What do they do every day? I'm like, oh, I guess you guys don't know. And looking in the marketplace, there is no, structured training, college-like professional program for district managers.
Not
And
that I'm
so
aware of.
no, that doesn't exist. And so we created that. We have a 10-week program, a very professional, robust program on teaching the district managers what is their role, the 7 critical responsibilities, and the routines that they need to follow every day, every week, every month to be able to be successful and have a quality of life too. Because that's the challenge. A lot of the district managers that don't have this guidance, they're overcome by overworking and then burn out. It's just really sad. And so we have now changed that. We launched that 3 years ago, and we had trained over 270 district managers by now. And it's been amazing. Now, several of our franchisees use that program as part of the career path training for their leaders. And it's amazing. So we launched that 3 years ago. And then as soon as we launched that, it's funny. Then my clients and franchise clients were saying, hey, what about managers? Can you do something for managers? And they really wanted leadership and management skills, because the brand provides amazing resources for how to duplicate the brand, right? How do you do the product? How do you do the service? How do you take care of the building? If it's in food service, food safety, but not so much on leadership and management. And so I said, you know what, interesting, and discussed it with our mastermind franchisees, and they say, yay. And so I created a curriculum, but it was so wide because teaching these managers how to be business managers, right?
Sure.
So actually, one of my clients said, I when I said it's too much, and of course the price would be too high, and so they say I should split it in 2. So then what we do is we have unit management basics and unit management advanced The first one is 4 weeks, second one is 5 weeks. So you can take it in different quarters, and it gives also the manager the time to implement what they're learning. And we launched the basics last year and trained over 100 managers already. And we're launching the advanced in the fall. And when they do that, they get certified on unit management. And so that's what we do. 100% support franchisees on their business. Many of them don't know what to train or even how to train. So they trust us now to do that for them and their team. And we're not everything for them, but we definitely are a resource to give their team knowledge that they need to be able to be successful on their behalf.
Yeah, well, you definitely filled a gap in the marketplace. If you think about it, one of the big challenges for emerging franchises specifically is, first of all, you don't even know what you don't know. And I'm gonna speak firsthand. Like, this was my own experience. When I first franchised my brand, I was so focused on training the franchisees on operationally how to run the business, not so much, on how to run the brand, not on how to be a business owner. We had the big aha moment, like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. In our case, and I think this is really, really common in a lot of emerging franchise systems, where a lot of times the mom and pop, the single unit franchise owners, this is their first experience owning a business. And as a founder of the franchise, I had assumed that going into this, that maybe I was going to have people that were a little more sophisticated and they were familiar with running a business. And I found myself having to backtrack, like, oh my gosh, forget about training on the brand. We got to teach these people like basics on how to run a business. Our business changed forever once we figured that out. But oh my gosh, I think about all the emerging brands. You know, you have so many things are being thrown at you, right? When you first start in franchising, and you don't even know what you don't know. You're worried about, legal and regulatory, and you're worrying about making sure you're taking care of your own staff, and you're training franchisees on the brand and trying to get them up and running. The last thing you think about is, oh my gosh, these people don't even know how to run a business. And
they don't know how to do a schedule. They don't know how to do inventory. They don't know how to read a profit and loss statement, how to calculate break even. Yep.
Yeah. And that's when everything changes for an emerging founder. But I think that's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons why emerging franchises specifically run into a big problem. And they kind of dry up. They don't hit their goals. They never become the brand that they had envisioned, or they're not able to, achieve necessary milestones to be able to stay open. And maybe that's part of the reason why franchisors run into trouble and close.
Yeah, and the problem was not the brand to begin with. It was the franchisees that were selected to run them and not having the business acumen to run them profitably. Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to blame the franchisees. I do blame the founders, the franchisors, myself included, because we just don't know. But when you do have that self-awareness, and you really tap into your franchisees and seeing where the gap is, where they're not understanding, you have to pivot and you have to make that a highest priority. And it's wonderful.
But there's a challenge right now, Frank. It's called joint employer. That franchisors, can only go so far when it comes to, there's two challenges. And this is what I share with franchisees, because it's not like I blame franchisees. I say they need to take responsibility for the knowledge that they need, that they did not buy when they buy a brand, right? And so there are this is what I would share with our clients. And really in all of every time I speak, I do public speaking and workshops and things. I told franchisees, there's two reasons why franchisors do not give you, this business degree. Number one is actually three reasons. Number one is lack of resources. The franchisors are working really hard to create and support a proven successful brand, right? And so if they're going to give you a business degree in management, number two, they're going to have additional resources, and they have to charge you a heck of a lot more than a $30,000 franchise fee.
Which they don't have the resources.
Exactly, which costs money. And then number two is joint employer. Joint employer prevents today and worse more every year from touching anything that has to do with the people and the leadership. And so with that, because of the liability. And so they are not able to do it even if they wanted to. And so that's where we come in, to help out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Aisha, that's the big aha moment for me then, because as the franchisor, there's so many things, there's so many skills that I want my franchisees to have, but I'm limited. But by having my franchisees go through the American Franchise Academy, they're able to get those skills and able to learn how be able to train the trainer without me being involved.
Exactly. And you know that what we're giving them is my 37-year career in the industry, my love of systems, process, and procedures, and our programs are no fluff. We have the no fluff zone. All tactical, practical templates, tools, forms, everything that you need, everything that would teach you. We give you the process, we give you the template, we give you the like everything. So do you have 100% clarity? And then as a franchisee, you're part of our mastermind that meets 3 times a month, where we have a discussion with a lot of other multi-unit franchisees or merging or starting to grow franchisees, and go deep into the subjects in a total open and safe zone. It just changes their lives, you know.
Wow. What's the cost of the tuition of the district manager training?
Yeah. So the franchise program, the command program, is $1,100 a month, which is $13,200 for the whole year.
Okay.
Includes everything. The district manager is $2,900 for the program for each student,
And that's
the unit
10 weeks. That one. Okay.
10 weeks. That's a 10-week program.
Okay.
And the unit manager basics, which is a 4-week program, is $850, and the advance is $950 for a 5-week program that includes everything: workbooks, teachers, live classes, homework, assignments, final exam, graduation, everything.
That's
and it's
super.
taught.
That's super reasonable.
Yeah. We've done it very accessible for anyone that needs this information. And the district manager program and the unit manager classes are taught 4 times a year. Every quarter, there's a new cohort, because it's a cohort based, and they're live instructor calls, by the way. So the franchise program, we only accept 3 franchisees per month. Okay.
Is this strictly done online through live webinars, or do you have a classroom?
We've been using Zooms since before Zoom was a thing. It's like, COVID hit, and all of a sudden everybody's using our process. But no, it's all virtual. We know people can't travel. Managers can't be going someplace, right? We try to make it as accessible as possible, and we have implemented a methodology that not only are there online recorded lessons, but we have live instructor calls with the participants, with Q&As and discussions, kind of like the way college became after COVID or during COVID. We're doing that methodology since before COVID. And there's assignments, so there is homework to be done to implement what you're learning. There's a final exam they have to pass, and we actually do have a virtual graduation, where we invite the direct reports or franchisees to celebrate the students that are graduating, because it takes work to be able to get certified with our programs.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.